Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a tutorial on how I do my winged liner. Now, I feel like I have to say this because if you're looking for a little magic trick to just get your winged liner on in one swoop, this is not it. It is a really hard thing to master, not even master, just to like even get decent. It's so hard. It is very, very tricky. It takes a lot of practice, and even if you've been doing it for a long time, you're still gonna mess up. Like literally, I did this eye for you all and I had so much trouble with this eye, and then I go off camera and do this one and I did it in like 2 seconds. Sometimes one will play you, sometimes both will play you. Don't give up. I redid this one like 3 times. You know, sometimes that's how it's gonna go. So I just wanted to put a disclaimer. It's freaking hard no matter what, but this is how I have come to do my winged liner, and I hope that you find this video helpful and it helps you all slay your winged liner a little bit more. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
First things first, I always start on the outer corner and I make a line that kind of extends my lower lash line. So it kind of goes more out than up, but it does gradually go up. You'll see I kind of quickly drew it and then drew the line that connects back down, that kind of initial little triangle. Normally it doesn't really happen that quickly for me. I'll like adjust the initial line a bit more. Sometimes you get lucky with that first stroke, but later this wing tried to play me, so like just don't even worry. I like to work in small strokes, and I think that is really the key to successful winged liner, is working in little sections. You see I'm going back in, making adjustments, kind of fine-tuning the initial line before I do anything else, and then fine-tuning the connecting line, that top part of that little triangle, and then I'll go in with the actual line above my lash line. You can of course feel free to make your liner as long or as short or as thick or thin as you want it. I usually end up going more dramatic just because that's kind of where my mistakes lead me, and then I just kind of roll with it, you know what I'm saying? It always ends up thicker than I want it, but I kind of just go with it, whatever. I've gotten more comfortable with wearing like longer and thicker liner as I've gotten more comfortable with doing it, because if it doesn't look like sharp, girl, you shouldn't be wearing a thick wing, you know what I'm saying? So as I've gotten more comfortable with the technique, I have gotten more comfortable with wearing like longer wings, but you do you. Anyway, here I go, just lining the top of my lid, not the top of my lid, the lash line, you know what I'm saying. I begin with a thin line on the lash line, and then I go in and build it up to kind of meet the outer part of the wing. And I just go in, even it out, just work in small strokes, like I said. My bronzer, kind of around my wing, as you can see, is a little bit splotchy. I don't know if you noticed, but that's because I messed up my first attempt at laying down the initial wing line, so I used a wipe, and I messed up my bronzer, of course, but just ignore that, okay? Thank you so much. Here I am using the NYX Matte Black Liquid Liner. I really do love this product. The wand, on the other hand, is kind of a different story. It's very hard to work with. I would not recommend it for any of you who are just beginning your winged eyeliner journey in life. The brush is very flimsy and thin. You have to use a super steady hand and kind of use a strong amount of control yourself, which, like I said, might be difficult for someone who is just starting out. I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner per se, but I really do like the product. If you wanted to buy it and then use like a separate brush or something, the product is bomb. What I used to use is the NYX Liquid Liner, and it was very cheap, but I heard the line was being discontinued, so I'm not sure what to recommend to you all besides the NYX one, if you can get your hands on it still, and this one, but like I said, maybe not for beginners unless you want to just give it a go anyway. You do you. I know a lot of brands do carry eyeliners that have a kind of sponge type of brush applicator. Here I'm just telling you that my inner corner is kind of jacked up, but we will fix it, don't worry. So there are brands out there that have kind of easier brushes for beginners to work with. So I know my hand is kind of blocking my work, sorry about that sometimes in these next few shots, but here I'm just taking some concealer on a small detail brush. This is the very same brush I use to clean up underneath my brows and things like that, and I actually use it to sharpen up the bottom of my wing as well. It's great for detail work like this. I'm just going in and kind of swiping over the outer edge of the liquid liner so that we make a clean edge like we did it perfectly the first time. No one has to know. I am just like you, I'm human, I make mistakes a lot when it comes to wing liner specifically, so, and look, I just messed that up and made it even smaller. Things like this will happen. You'll go back and forth, you won't know when to stop, and then you'll mess it up, and then you'll have to fix it again, but this is the life of winged liner, guys. Be ready to devote some time to this, to go back and forth adjusting things, but it's totally worth it and it is going to take time, so take your time, don't rush, LOL. And try not to get frustrated even though it's hard. Here I'm just going back over that inner corner and then re-thickening up the outer wing because I made it a little bit too thin when I went in with my concealer. Oops, but we can always go back in with liner and add more. I didn't want to bore you all going back and forth between liner and concealer all day, but that is pretty much how I do it. Here is the final winged liner. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe if you are not already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!